Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. Today, we are going to be bringing you some potentially huge breaking news within the last half an hour. So I'm not sure what time it's going to be when you're watching this video, but today we have a potential BlackRock filing for an Ethereum iShares ETF. This is absolutely huge. Let's not waste any time and let's dive into where this essentially has came from. And then let's talk about the repercussions for the broader market as a whole. And of course, Ethereum, which is doing very well on the back end of this. Now, I just want to make this crystal clear. This hasn't been confirmed by BlackRock. This is only circulating on Twitter right now. But this tweet from Eric Balachunas says, BlackRock has made the first step towards filing for a spot Ether ETF. I just confirmed on the website myself. Nice catch, Summers things. And of course, this is the tweet that he is referring to. And you can see here an iShares Ethereum trust in the name of BlackRock Advisors. This is absolutely colossal news, ladies and gentlemen. And it was a matter of time before we not only saw a Bitcoin spot ETF be gone after, but altcoin ETFs. This is a future that we are very much moving towards. The cryptocurrency market is transforming the entire financial sector, whether that be money itself or the financial applications that we have in the traditional world. It's also tokenizing everything and bringing or banking the unbanked. It's going to bring everyone onto a global system. And many of the cryptocurrencies that we have today publicly are going to play a role in that, like Ethereum. We can see Ethereum has had, if we go to the daily chart, quite a significant move on the back end of this. However, I just want to restate this, guys. I have not actually confirmed this myself. It's important that I do say that. But the tweet that we are looking at is basically saying that the individual has posted it and it's been confirmed by somebody who is a senior ETF analyst at Bloomberg, for Bloomberg. So this is quite likely the case. This is colossal, and this sets broader precedent for the entire market and the way that it's going. You've got to understand, up until recently, and still to this day, in the United States, financial institutions like BlackRock have not been able to directly get their hands on Bitcoin. They've not been able to hold it. They've not really been able to trade it through their vehicles or do really anything with it. However, with an ETF, that game completely changes. And we've looked historically, and we can do that in this video, at what's happened with a gold, or with gold when it had its first spot ETF, and of course, the S&P. So we're going to go and do that now. This is absolutely huge news. Please share this video about. A like and a comment is always appreciated. And this is really setting broader precedents for the overall space. You are going to, just like you saw with Grayscale's products, end up with Chainlink ETFs, with ETFs that are baskets of cryptocurrencies and everything in between. And ultimately, this is going to drive real institutional demand across the board. And if you understand how portfolio and portfolio management works, you want to have uncorrelated assets and different assets in a portfolio, even if it is something as small and speculative as altcoins, because it will ultimately boost the overall performance of your portfolio and also mitigate risk. It will close that tailwind risk right the way down if you have uncorrelated assets. And this is a big, big step, guys. This has got me absolutely buzzing. This does look like it is an actual true event. This has been confirmed by one of Bloomberg's analysts on ETFs specifically. Let's dive over to gold. And I know off the top of my head, because we've covered it 1,000,001 times, what happened with gold pre ETF. So if we go over to a monthly chart, we get rid of the draws that we've got on here from earlier. We are looking at gold breaking out. But you essentially had the announcement of an ETF for gold here in the United States, 2004. Okay, so you can saw it had a nice little run into that. And then look at the absolute run that gold went on prior to that. There was an ETF in Australia and Canada, just like we see a similar thing with Bitcoin today, but when it got listed in the United States, we saw a colossal run for gold. We saw a similar thing with the S&P 500 back here, ladies and gentlemen. So there was the first S&P 500 ETF, so the S&P, of course, existed pre, was down here. I think it was around about 1993, 1992, I believe. And then you saw a colossal run on the back end of it. And remember, this chart is in log. If we take this off of log, you can see the kind of run that ensued. And again, similar trait. We saw one in Australia, we saw one in Canada, and then we saw one in the United States. And you had this Goliath of a run that took place. Similar thing now, we're off log with gold. If we really look at it off log with gold, are we going to see the same thing today, ladies and gentlemen, for Bitcoin? I think it's quite likely. I really do, because ultimately, what it does is it opens it up to a broader world. It opens it up to real money, real institutional money that will look to monopolize it. And what I mean by monopolize it is they will look to capitalize off the facilitation of it as an asset. They did the same thing with gold. Once you had that ETF for gold, BlackRock all of a sudden started incorporating it in their analysis, in their sort of portfolio outlook, so on and so forth. They're going to do a similar thing with Bitcoin. Altcoins will find their way into it. We've seen a massive step today with this Ethereum potential ETF or trust news. This is the first step. So it's not an actual spot ETF, it's a trust. But the next evolution of this is moving towards an ETF. This, of course, has wider ramifications for the regulatory landscape as a whole, because would BlackRock really be doing this if they thought that Ethereum was a security and they were going to get penalized as a result of that? And you've got to think, if Ethereum's not a security, what does that mean for many of the other layer ones out there? You know, this is huge, huge news. I have a massive smile on my face. I was in the middle of an interview when this dropped, and I very quickly wrapped that interview up to literally come and cover this news, because it is absolutely breaking. It's colossal news. You have seen the Ethereum price react. However, it is somewhat retracing. There'll be a little bit of skepticism. The majority of people wouldn't have got this news. Some of you may be hearing about it for the first time on this channel. But this is ultimately going to propel the cryptocurrency market into what we've always termed it as, and that is a real asset class. It's being more and more globally recognized as that. It's going to be treated as that. You're going to have regulatory framework. This entire market, including Bitcoin, including Ethereum, still today, ladies and gentlemen, sits at a measly $1.3 trillion, just to show you that. So let's move off the daily. We've got all our draws and stuff on here. You guys will know that we've been expecting a bull market to occur after we assess the down market. The bear market had come to a fundamental change back on January the 5th, following a conversation that we had publicly and privately. And we've been long the markets, ultimately expecting all of this to take place. And it's here, there's fundamental news that technically was signaled, backing it all up now and confirming it. I don't think this is a call to FOMO, but this market, you know, is $1.3 trillion. It got to a height of $3 trillion. To put things into perspective, back in 2000s, the dot-com boom got to 5.5 trillion estimated in terms of value. And that's largely because Wall Street was behind it. What's going to happen to crypto? It's hard to imagine. How can the crypto market do as much as it did when they printed so much money back in 2020? Well, it can do more, to the order of magnitudes more, with the likes of Wall Street behind it and pushing it and promoting it. And that is what they are going to do. This is phenomenal news. I just want to make this comment on Solana. Solana's been doing very well since we sort of highlighted it as a falling wedge and a breakout. This was a trade that we were very public on. Is there some sort of maybe Solana ETF or something like that coming down the pipelines that people are positioning for now? You are going to have altcoin ETFs eventually. And Ethereum, with this news today, has potentially set the tone for that. And this is massive, guys. This is huge. This is what we've been waiting for. I know it's been a pretty tough couple of years, even for ourselves that were largely out of the market in 2022, you know, when we were really expecting further continuation. It wasn't until we pivoted at the start of the year. And even then, for many of our altcoins, it's been a rough ride. But brighter days are at hand, ladies and gentlemen. There is a fundamental technical shift in the market. Many altcoins are breaking out. And hopefully you guys are the beneficiaries of that. That's all we've got for you guys. This is absolutely huge news. Share this video around. Don't forget to come and check out allincrypto.com. Give me a follow on Twitter at Allincrypto, because we'll try and keep you up to date on all this stuff as it breaks, like we're doing in this video. All I've got for you guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a fantastic Thursday, and I'll see you all in the next one.